Hey YouTube, Otto here. We are doing some explosive barrel testing. And so here we have a large stone gate. It's got 16,000 health. It is sitting on a foundation blocks with 10,000 health. Let's see how many barrels it takes to blow through one of these. This is one of the primary problems with the PvP base rating. What you will find is the doors and the walls are pretty much paperweight, lightweights, compared to what the explosive barrels can do. So let's go ahead and set... Oh. Let's go 5 seconds. Let's back up. 1. Alright, let's see what we got here. 843, 843, big AoE here. I know it's going to blow out the foundation before it gets through the door, but the door lost approximately 1,500, so let's place another one. And we are going to do these one at a time for now. Okay, just to keep for accuracy. Okay. And we are at 1209. 12906, I mean. I started with that first batch in my one slot with 10, so this is the third one. 3. Okay. This is 4. Alright. There we are. We're almost halfway. That's 5. Alright, that's 5 gone. We are approximately halfway. So it looks like it's going to take approximately 10, but we'll see. It might take 11. Each one's taken off approximately 1,500, give or take a few hundred. This is number 6. Alright. We're about to lose our foundation stones, but that's okay. They would normally be apart, and so we're going to keep it going as it is. Alright, here we go. This is 7. Wow. Yeah, I do apologize, that's our little guy. Okay, so there you just got to see it took 7 to get through a block with 10,000. It's going to take 7 to get through a wall with 10,000. Okay, so interestingly enough, it has not hit any of the other blocks back there, but it's about to, because we're going to set this down here somewhere. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, this is 8. Alright. We're down to 6325, and that was 8 again. Okay, let's see what we have here. This is 9. This is actually the 10th one. This is 10. My first inventory slot is empty now. So that was 10 we've blown up here. Sure is blowing that foundation out pretty good. Alright, so it looks like it's going to take 11. We'll verify it just to show you. Okay, here we go. There it is. 11 just took down the door. 11 explosive barrels. Right? Alright, the gateway's still there. But the door itself is gone. And so the point in showing you all this is because it took 7 for 10,000 points off a foundation. It'll take 7 for a wall. And so if you are building bases with a single wall, it only takes 7 explosive barrels to blow through your wall. Something else I wanted to show y'all. And I'll just show you with this one right here. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. This is a test. 2. And that one won't go up for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe I was too far away. No, maybe it's hitting the wall. I don't know. Okay. So we're going to go down here. Let's make sure all these detonation timers are ready. Okay, they're all ready. So we're going to blow this one. That's 8. Okay. Are they all gone? What's going on here? It's still trying to... Okay, there you go. We set up 8 right in front of the door and blew the whole door right out. So we are going to... Let's see what this one here has. This one has 13.5. Let's go over here to the small one. Okay, she had 10,000, so 8. It was probably exactly enough. This time I'm going to get down on the ground to show you guys you can do it on the ground. And I'm going to actually set them just a hair. Actually, I'm going to bring them forward just a little bit. I'm trying to get 3 high. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to come over here. 1, 2, 3. That's 6. And we're going to just try, like, because it's got 10,000 hit points, so we should be able to just do 7. Okay? Because that's what it took to get through the foundation over there. Alright, let's do it. Let's see what we get. Delayed. But it's doing it. Okay, there you go. You've got 7. It took 7 to just blow right through. You're able to stack them, lay them down, explode one, they all took off. Okay, so the point in showing you that is how easy it is to blow into someone's base. Okay, and I'm showing you guys that because people put hundreds and hundreds of hours into their bases, all the hard work gathering resources, tames, recipes, grinding ships of the dam, going treasure hunting, their gold, everything. And all it takes is a measly 7 explosive barrels. 8 if it's one of the biggers, or this is a medium, but we've already seen the mediums aren't even in game. That's a mod. But this one here, we've seen it took 11. Yeah, I believe it was 11. Yeah, because it's got 16,000 hit points. So it takes 11 to blow through a giant gate like that. That's it. And it took 7 to blow through a smaller gate like that, or 7 to blow through a wall. You don't even have to go through the gate. You can just go through a wall, right? Because the gate is where they expect you to go, because that is where the door is. But do they expect you to blow a hole in the middle of a wall in the middle of nowhere? No, they don't. And so this is also why I don't recommend you build your bases with a single outer wall. Do multiple outer walls and do what is called honeycombing. You can honeycomb 2 ways, and I'm going to show you guys this here. Okay, let's just say this here is your outer wall, right? And so we're going to do this. Now in this case, this foundation was built square, so you can honeycomb this way. Okay, I'm going to show you here. Here we go. Okay, now let's just say this was a chunkier wall, okay? that one there. Pick it up. Okay. Now the way you do that is do it like this. Oh. Okay. Now this is a square honeycomb, okay? It's one of the more inefficient ones, but it is a honeycomb. That is a double exterior wall. Like if that was my wall right there going all the way around, we would double up on everything. Why? Because now they have to, actually it's a triple wall. Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is a triple. I could have just went over and went one wall, this pieces in between, and one wall. Okay, now however, what do they need here? Here they need 7 to blow through. Gone. The other guy walks in behind them because there's like 6 guys raiding the space, right? First guy drops down 7, blows that wall open. Second guy walks in, drops 7 down, or as close as he can. He's going to do it in sets because you can't fit 7 side by side. Blows that wall out. Now you can get in. That's a double wall. Back here, what I just did, that's a triple wall. Okay, that is a triple wall with a square honeycomb. And you put these in between pieces too because it limits how far they can get in. Maybe they got into the base here, which may not be a high security zone, but if they went over 1 more or 2 more, okay, now they were able to get in here also, and that's why you do crisscross. Okay, that is the honeycomb, like a bee's hive, okay? Now up here, I'm going to show you. Now this was built on a triangle, right? And so let's just say that right there is our outer, okay? Now these ones are going to be different, and you will see why. Come on, turn. There we go. This is where your piece count really jumps. Okay, but it doesn't matter. You're going to have to pay maintenance on all these pieces, but the point is it's still the same. You still do them just like this. Okay, now that right there, while they're all staggered, it doesn't matter. That is the equivalent of the same thing we just did out there. Except if you see, I was able to use more pieces. Now your front to back is the same, but notice, let's say we're down here and we blow this wall out, right? There went your explosive kegs, blew it out. Look, now you have to go through 2 walls instead of 1. But it's not like 100% more effective, even though you're using sometimes more pieces. Because even if I put an explosive barrel right here, it's going to hit both of these. So if I stack up 3, blow it, stack up 3, blow it, put 1 more, blow it, that's 7, boom, both walls fall. Okay, but now what happened? Now you're into these other 2 walls here, right? Now you can pick if you want to go this way or this way. But again, it doesn't matter because when you put your explosive barrel, your explosive barrel stack right here in the middle, okay, right here in the middle, both walls are going to take damage. So essentially, even though this is honeycomb that way, if you have an intelligent intruder, he's going to put his explosive barrels in a place that's going to hit it at the junction. When you hit it at the junction like this, you are being able to place just as many down as you were when you were doing a square honeycomb. Some people do the triangles honeycomb like this because they believe that it's harder to get into. And in some ways it is. If you're not hitting right on the junction, it is harder to get into. A lot of times you'll see defensive towers built with a honeycomb exterior, but it's harder for cannons to pinpoint hit this part right here so it hits both of them than it is explosive barrels. When you're on foot placing explosive barrels, it's pretty easy. But I just wanted to show you guys, this is a honeycomb setup in the rectangle pieces. This out here was a honeycomb setup with square pieces. It only took 11 pieces to get through a huge stone gate, and it only took 7 to get through a small stone gate or 7 to get through a small wall. In my opinion, the health on these things is way too small. I think the explosive barrels are ultra cheap in order to create. It's not really that hard to throw together, 2, 3, 4, 5 dozen of them if you have an org that is organized and that is someone who's going out collecting resources. Okay, in order to make explosive barrels, and that's with the current. It might change in the mega patch. 100 blasting powder, 6 flint. We know flint's nothing. 20 metal, that's nothing. 80 wood, that's nothing. But let's go check out the blasting powder. Blasting powder. Now we do see a few things in there that are they're a bit specialized. Crystal is specialized depending on your island you're on. Flint is not. Gem is specialized depending on the island you're on. Organic paste does take sap or a sugar, but a lot of islands have it, so I'm not really going to call that specialized. Salt is kind of specialized because it's not on all islands. And while sap isn't either, the organic paste is kind of questionable, but the other three are harder to get. Salt, gem, crystal. But notice the amounts are very, very low. Okay? And so essentially someone can come in here and create those in large quantities, especially if you are going out hunting for ingredients to make explosive barrels, which if you are a raider, that's exactly what you're doing. And so what I'm showing you guys is it is stupid easy to blow into people's bases. And if you're building smart, you're building with Honeycomb to protect. You're going to build with Honeycomb, you're going to build with NPC defenders, you're going to build with tame defenders, and you're going to have mortars and cannons set up everywhere for your defense. And so really this was kind of just to open the eyes of those of you veteran PvPers. You guys already know this stuff. You don't need to know this stuff. I mean, this is just the same old every day for you. But for those out there that don't know this stuff, okay, this is critical, all right, because it's already stupid easy to break into people's bases and destroy everything, and wonder why people are like rage quitting the game when they log back in after they've been logged off for 8, 10, 12 hours overnight or whatever. They log back in and everything's wiped, gone. This is why. Okay, it's super easy to bust into bases. Okay, and so I'm hoping they fix this in some way. Like, these large stone gates need to have way more health than they do. I don't mean a little bit, I mean a lot, because they are a primary defense for buildings. Secondly, grape shot. Guys, come on now. We need the walls that go with these gates. And the small gates, like these ones here I blew out. Like this one here I blew out. And a medium gate. Look at that medium gate. That right there is up on the Steam Workshop. We'd love to have that medium gate. Because it holds giraffes, it holds rhinos, it holds elephants. They can get in without a huge deal. These huge things, I don't even know what they're for. You can fit a brig down through these things. Galleon won't fit, but a brig will. But their health is super too low. All the gates' health is too low. We need high-end, high-health gates. And we need the walls that go with the gates. People are pouring way too much time into this for it to just be destroyed by a small ragtag crew that just wants to attack someone's base and just destroy potentially hundreds and hundreds of hours. Again, that's also why people are leaving. I've been out here talking with a lot of players, and that's why they're leaving. Some people are ticked by the lag. I would say that's probably maybe the number 1 or number 2 reason. But right behind it, or right in front of it, however you want to look at it, is the how ultra easy it is to destroy people's hundreds and hundreds of hours of work by this right here, what I just showed you guys, okay? And some of you might be like, well, I have the exterior of my base protected really good, and so they're not going to get in that way. You know what people do? If they can't get in at your foundation, they get in on your roof, okay? Like where this one's set up, boom, right there's a mountain. You know what I do? I go up on the mountain on the other side. You don't even know I'm around. I go up there with a glider. I put my my weight way high. I carry enough explosive kegs to get through at least one wall, and I come with a set of buddies that do the same. We come down here and we land on your roof, and we blow holes through your roof, and then we come down through your roof. And if you have multiple tiers, we bring multiple guys that have multiple sets of barrels, and we blow through them all again. Because right now, the health to damage between the explosive barrels and the defenses we're able to build in game, the ratios are horrendous. It's like, you know, a Twitch shooter. You go to shoot someone in a Twitch shooter, and someone is usually dead within less than 3 seconds. On here, all we have to do is stack up 7 barrels, boom, 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 set them all up. It takes maybe 10 seconds. And press explode, back up, 10 seconds, run around the corner, hide, boom! They explode, boom, you just broke through their door, right? And while this one's blowing through here, someone else can be blowing through, someone else blowing through, someone else blowing through. You have a half a dozen guys on your base all the way around it blowing out huge doors. And there goes your org that was maybe away on another raid or even offline. And so that's That's a huge, huge, huge problem with how easy it is. It's not so much that you can raid bases, it's how pathetically easy it is. In my opinion, people's hundreds and orcs thousands of hours of game time is worth more than just a couple explosive kegs. Alright guys, just wanted to show this for the noobers out there. Nothing wrong with being noob, we were all noob at some point. But just wanted to show you guys how simple it is. And this is what you are defending against. Okay, so you need to have crew, like I have them set up there, and up in towers and all over the outside of your base, set up covering all angles, okay, with guns, grape shot, puck guns, okay, puck guns need to do more damage, grape shot, seriously. These things need to be seriously putting a hurting on a player, otherwise there's no real deterrent to stay away from a base. Players come at a base with 200-300 health because they've majored in health. Getting shot by a puck gun for a couple times is not really a big deal because currently the puck guns don't really do a whole lot of damage, especially if you're wearing full plate. It does knock down the damage, and so all they have to do is get in close enough to the base and the guy can't shoot him anymore because the angle of attack is now gone. Okay, this guy here, once I get in here, he can't shoot me anymore because his angle is out here and out there. And so yeah, this is all part of the problems with why it is hard to keep people interested in Atlas. It's far too easy to destroy countless hours of hard work. It needs to be far harder than that. The resistance or the health on these things needs to be increased dramatically. I'm not going to really say change the explosive barrels because I think the damage they put out, 1,000, 1,500, that's pretty... it's pretty standard. It's pretty expected. I don't think it's really too much, but the resistances on the, especially the concrete, maybe not so much the wood because after all, is wood. Wood's gonna blow and splinter, but I expect the concrete to be the stone. It looks like concrete because it's so gray, but I expect the stone to be far, far, far stronger, and especially these huge gates. These huge gates should have like tens of thousands of HP, not like the HP they currently have, because they're nothing more than massive glorified tiny walls. A tiny wall has got 10,000 HP. That's got 16. Which wall's easier to hit with a ship from range? Oh, the giant wall. And so it should be, how much bigger is that wall than a small wall? Well, let's see. It's 10 wide by 12 high. Do the math. That's 120 square tiles. It's 120 per... It's what is that? 120... that'd be 100. It's like 12,000% bigger than a single wall, and yet the health does not grow exponentially with the size of it. The health is currently way, 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 way too low. It's way too easy to blow into these things. And I'm a player out here like everyone else, and even against the orgs I go against, I expect to have a real battle on my hands and not blow through someone's front gate with a couple cannon shots and someone running up there throwing a couple barrels at the base of it and running off. I expect it to be a real battle, and currently it's not a real battle. Currently it's so easy to blow into people's bases that once it happens and people are losing hundreds of hours, boom, see you later, Atlas. I'm going to go play something that actually considers my time is worth something. Alright guys, I just wanted to show this again. I said this, but I just wanted to show this to y'all. Show you how easy it is to bust into bases. No matter how big and grand and awesome they look, they're all this easy to break into unless Atlas changes something. Unless the devs change something and make these things either a lot more resistances, a lot more health. And again, I think the explosive barrels should probably, look how big they are. I mean, they're equivalent of a 50-gallon 50-gallon barrel. You know how heavy a 50-gallon barrel is in real life? It's a whole lot more than 60 pounds. Okay, it's a whole lot more than 60 pounds. So currently I think the explosive barrels are way, way too light. That would probably be the one thing I'd say about them. Their damage is fine. Their weight is way off. And the health and resistances on these others need increased. Alright, y'all. This will probably help your base builders and stuff out there so you guys know what you're going against. And I'd already showed you that some people like to build angled honeycomb like that one up there. And they do it because they believe it's more resistant. But I just showed you if you're hitting the sweet spots, it's just as easy to blow through that as it is that right there. What matters is the layers. Okay, you want multiple layers. Unfortunately, with this new system, we have to pay maintenance on every single piece. And in order to properly protect your base, you need tons and tons of pieces. Okay, if you build one of these, let's say it's like 5 wide or something by 10 high, okay, and so that's like 50, and I did a tower, okay, it was only 10 levels high, okay, 10 stories high, that's it. It's not real tall, not real huge, okay, that right there, that total, counting the foundation, that's 14 levels tall right there on that castle right there. So that defense tower I built was only 10 tall, okay? And it was a regular, fairly small, I think it was like maybe a 5 by, it was probably more than yeah, I think it was like a 5 by 5 or so. Anyways, when it was all done and it was honeycombed with an entrance down the center all the way up through with a ladder, it was pushing between 2,000 and 2,500 pieces. One defense tower. Now, I don't know what their maintenance is going to look like, but this is a concern of mine, is that maintenance is going to be too expensive. Okay, because when it takes that much to build a defense tower, Grape Shot might say, well, we're going to charge you 10% of that. And if it takes 2,500, okay, that's 250 worth of pieces just for one defense tower. That's way too expensive if we have to pay a 10% cost on the overall cost of that whole tower. Why is it too expensive? Because what happens is when Grape Shot is charging us a maintenance fee for every piece we place, they're essentially saying that you have to be an org this big in order to run pieces, this many pieces. If you're not, we're going to drown out so much of your time collecting resources to cover maintenance that, again, that scales between the burden and the fun. The burden starts going up, 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 and all that grind and stuff in order to even cover maintenance on these things. The fun value goes down, 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 and boom, players are leaving. Why are they leaving? Because the maintenance cost is too expensive. Every time Grape Shot tweaks or changes the maintenance cost, they are setting a standard across the entire atlas of how many pieces they think it's worth to protect a base, to protect an island. And remember, you might have a base where a player has 50 hours into it. You might have a base where players have more than 5,000 hours into it across a big org with everyone's man hours pumped into it, okay? And so if you tell the guy who's got 50 hours into it, maybe it's a small org with a small setup versus the org that's got 5,000 hours into it because maybe they're 250 players and all of them have collected several hundred hours over a few months, okay? And when you tell them both that their amount of pieces they're allowed per the maintenance fee is only like X amount, maybe it's a few hundred or a few thousand, what ends up happening is the person who has tons and tons of time, or the org that has tons and tons of time into it, is not able to put enough defenses into protecting all their time versus the person who has far, far, far less time. So what I'm saying is I'll be paying attention to the maintenance costs. The maintenance costs will be huge. It's going to set the pace of the game for a lot of people, a lot of orgs. And right now, as you just seen, this is even though it's big and it looks nice, okay? It looks nice and it's big and it'll hold an org in here for the most part. The defense value of this thing, if you don't count the NPCs, because there's not NPCs around it and this wasn't really fully built for all full-blown PvP, but minus those, is extremely, extremely low. I would even call it fragile. So if I was going to go like fragile, low, medium, heavy, awesome, excellent, godly, for defense values, I would rate this thing as fragile. Why? Because all they have to do is come in and pop off a few explosive barrels and boom, they're busted right into the base. And we all know when they get into the base, they kill tames and they steal whatever they want. Stealing, that's awesome. And then they also popcorn anything and everything they don't want. So if they can't get it because they don't need it, they'll destroy your time and throw it all over the floor. Okay, this is the mentality of base raiding out there. I mean, it's as barbaric as centuries ago where real barbarians were raiding people's villages and killing people. They had no respect for other people. And this is what they're doing. It's one thing to compete competitively. It's another thing to completely base wipe people all the way down to their foundations and pretty much say, we don't want you in the game anymore. And Atlas wonders why people are leaving the game. This is why some groups are leaving the game. Okay? You've got to take care of your player base. All right? And the orgs out there, guys, it's unnecessary to popcorn everyone's stuff when you know you're not going to be able to use it. It's war. I understand that. And for some people, it is actually really war. Okay, they are destroying hundreds and hundreds, thousands of players' hours and hard work put into this game in order to satisfy their desire for revenge. To me, it's far more than a competition. You can go in and compete. A sports team, you got two football teams that come into a stadium and they play with each other to see who's going to win. But at the end of the day, they don't go back to their home bases in their states and wipe their entire stadiums and their home bases. They don't do that. They compete on the field, and when it's over, they're done. You get to see who the winner is. In Atlas, it's you destroy hundreds and hundreds of people hours. And so I'm showing this video to people so that they can see how easy it is to bust into bases. Okay, how fragile all your hard work really is. And so this is just more reason to find your voice and verbalize it on the official forums, okay, and in videos, that Atlas needs to make these things stronger. They need to protect our hard work more, okay? We're all for PvP. That's why we're on a PvP server. But I think many of us out there are down for the competition and not how destructive we can be towards other people. Okay, we want to compete without destroying 100% of all your work for the last 6 months. Okay, if we compete and you only lose, like a dozen or so hours, that's acceptable. But when you compete and you're losing all of your time over several months, that's unacceptable. So yeah, guys, protect your stuff. Put it out. Multiple walls. Look what I got here. I'm going to put this up so you guys can see here again. There we go. This here is a double stacked heavy gates. Okay, double, triple, quad. Do what you got to do to protect your stuff. Okay, my guess is the smaller you are, the more defenses you have to have. Unfortunately, that also means more pieces and a higher maintenance cost, and so you're kind of hurt more and more and more if you're smaller and a medium. The bigger you are, the easier it is, because I assume everyone is pitching in and carrying their weight and helping. So it's going to really, really, really matter a lot how much maintenance Grape Shot sets everything towards. Build your walls multi-layers thick. Build your doors multi-walls thick, okay? Set lots of NPCs around that you can afford and set them up with Grape Shot and set them up with puck guns, okay? Protect your stuff. That's the only way to take care of all your hard work in this. As far as out in the sea, running groups. I'm going to tell you, I build high-end brig ships, and they run in groups, and people usually don't want to mess with them because they're too deadly when you get in close to range. You have one of these guys running alone is a bad deal. You don't run these kinds of builds alone. You run these builds here in groups, and you have several of these, 3, 4, 5 of these firing off on you. If several hit, guess what? You just lost like half or 3/4 of all your planks on the first volley. And so people don't usually stick around after that. But running groups, even if you're not running monsters like this, running groups, be smart. If you're not running in a group, run something fast. Alright, y'all. The mega patch is going to drop soon. I know I'm really looking forward to it. I want to see all the various changes, and I know a lot of the guys from our org from Star Citizen is really excited to jump into this and have some fun with it. However, we're looking for fun. We're looking for competition. We're not looking for utter destruction of all of our hard work. So I do hope Grape Shot fixes that. So now you guys know what you're really at risk here, what's at stake here. It's not like right now the game is in a state where you can dump 1,000 hours into a base and it is very hard. It's a real battle at that base in order to bust into it. It's not. Okay, it is ultra easy. So be aware of that. Build with the expectation that every layer that you put down, okay, is X amount of seconds or minutes that you've delayed the enemy from busting into your place and killing your tames and destroying all your property and stealing all your blueprints and stealing all your gear and anything else that's in there. And maybe that's not even what they're after. Maybe what they're after is just bragging rights, okay? And so they're willing to destroy hundreds or thousands of hours of your hard work just so they can brag about it, because that's the mentality of some of the people out there. So yeah, protect your stuff. Make allies. Be careful about who you're making an enemy. because they could potentially just come in and steamroll you and destroy all your hard work. So be smart about it. And that's my advice to those out there building bases, setting up defenses, protecting your stuff. We have a big responsibility. I am a base builder, I'm a ship builder, and I'm also a PvPer. And so I know what's going on out there. And the second thing, and I'm just going to close this real quick, Grape Shot, please fix the lag. Lag destroys a gaming experience. It's no longer about skill, it's no longer about gear, it's no longer about how awesome your ship is. Sometimes all it takes is some bad lag spikes to take someone who would have otherwise have won, and they'll lose. And it has nothing to do with the people involved, it has everything to do with the condition of the servers and the connection speeds, the lag. Lag can make bad players good, and lag can make good players bad, depending on how it hits and when it hits. Alright, y'all, this is Otto. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, do whatever it is you want to do, and I will see you in the next one. And right now I don't know when that's going to be because the mega patch is days away, and this is pretty much one of the last things I really wanted to cover before the big patch came out, unless something else changes or you guys have any questions in the comments. Keep them cool, guys, and we'll be straight. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next.